Nice panoramic view of Vermont.
You want to see that there mountain?
What mountain?
Over there.
Here's your car. And there's from the side what everything looks like. Trailer. A panoramic view. Here's the tour of the trailer.
No, you didn't even guess for that one. You can tell me, so you get 3.
I think
You get 3.
fine.
There's Lucy. Hi, Lucy.
Mom, can I rip this box? Oh.
We're taking the genius test. Let me do it. She doesn't care. Mom, we're not doing anything. We're taking a genius test and ripping your cereal box. You gotta take this. Christine got 2 right and I got 3.
Oh, yeah.
But I
wanted
guessed
to mention
one.
that.
If you got below 3, you must have had a bad morning. Try again. 3 to 4, bronze. Better luck next time. Ew. This is dumb.
That's the trailer.
Mine is the sleeping bag that's all rolled up, and Christine's is the one that's messy on the bed.
Okay, here's a tour of Uncle Stevie's house. Hello. Here's your little tour. This is your tour of your house now. I did both sides of the houses.
Mom brought our video camera.
Da, 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 da. And this is Uncle Stevie. Hello. All set. Only too much backlight.
What's this?
So what was life before, during, and after the war? Looks like this.
Water was the Depression and
Just trying to get rid of some backlight.
And December 7th, 1941, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. And we declared war on Japan. And the Germans, the court, declared war on us. We were given English Lend-Lease.
What's a Lend-Lease?
Huh?
What's Lend-Lease?
We lend them the equipment, but they didn't pay us till after the war.
Oh, okay.
We just leased it to them.
Then, I don't know, you were talking yesterday about Omaha Beach and stuff.
Omaha, God almighty. I was in England and by luck I didn't make the invasion. If I made the invasion, I wouldn't be here because most of them guys were killed going into the beachhead. For crying out loud, they launched their troops 10 miles out of the English Channel. The Germans could see them coming in, and they were shelling them. A lot of them didn't even make the beach because their landing crafts were hit.
But then you went like the week after or something?
2 weeks after, I think it was. Into hell on earth. The only reason I asked you if you were in Nancy, France, that's the biggest town I was in France. I was in a lot of big towns in Germany, but France I was just through little villages.
So what did you do at Omaha Beach when you got there?
Went into the damn hedgerows.
So on D-Day, like all the Germans didn't, like I thought that's when they got all the Germans out, but they were still there.
The Germans were there, but they were expecting us to land in Calais, France. And they were surprised that we landed in Normandy, Omaha. Well, we landed there because we wanted to get Cherbourg. That's a big port where they could land boats. But they were landing the boats after in Le Havre, France. To our left, the English were there, and they were in this here a big town of Sens. And they had a big battle there. They got slaughtered there. The Germans were slaughtering them. The Germans wanted Hitler to bring the troops, Panzer divisions down from Calais. But Hitler says, no, that we landed in Normandy. That's just a bluff. We were going to land in Calais.
So he didn't have a lot of Germans there? Because he didn't think you
There
were
were
going to go
some, but not that many.
Oh.
Because most of the troops were up around Calais. That's where they expected us to invade.
Oh.
Why? What was in Calais?
They were fortified there. Calais is part of France. It's the shortest distance across the English Channel between England and France.
Okay.
That's why they thought we were going to land there.
So all this time everybody thinks they're going to invade each other and fight, and everybody's just planning where it's going to happen and put all their troops there?
We bluffed them out. Well, we're going into France after breakthrough. The English were still fighting the Germans in Sens, France. That's a big city. I went there just for a couple of hours.
And from France you went to Italy?
I didn't go to Italy until after the war.
Oh. So you were in France then for the rest of the war?
I went to France, and then we went up into Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a small country. It's not a part of Belgium. We went through Luxembourg and we went up into Belgium. Viviers, Belgium. That's a pretty big city. And then from there we went to the German border, and we went into Germany to Aachen. And then Stolberg. And a lot of little towns we went through, and then we went into Marburg. That was a pretty big town, Marburg.
And you were fighting the whole time you were going in those towns?
And
But not big battles, just like we see in the movies, little battles? Or
huh?
Big battles or little battles?
Big battles. Well, they're on our homeland, so they're fighting harder. They weren't running like they were running across France. They were running.
Were you fighting all with just Americans or with English? You were fighting with, like, other English people were fighting with
They
you?
were to our left. I had a laugh because the French were taking credit for liberating Paris. It wasn't the French. De Gaulle. They let him take the credit even though he did not liberate Paris.
Is that what July 11th is in France?
What? July 14th, that's from the French Revolution.
Oh.
That's different. But, yeah, they made Charles de Gaulle as their big war hero. Even,
The phony.
yeah, they named the airport after him. They built the Arc de Triomphe because of him. Or something,
Over in France, in the war, there was a group of people, they call them the FFE. I says, what the heck is the FFE? They were fighting the Germans too. It was just a band of guys that were fighting. It was the French Forces Interior. They were saying FFE, but it's really FFI. French Forces Interior. Like in this era, Nancy, France. We pulled in there, and the Germans were counterattacking. And there was 5 snipers up in the church steeple shooting at us. And we couldn't figure out where the heck they were. We're in the middle of the town, there's a park. So I ducked behind a tree, I put my back to the tree, and I'm looking across the street at the buildings to see if I could see any movement in the windows. And all of a sudden I see a truck driver, he had a .50 caliber machine gun on his truck. He spotted where they were. So he shot at him up there. He got a couple of them. About 3 of them came down, they surrendered. And I told the first sergeant, I said, let me take them back to the collection point. He says, no, I'm going to let the FFE take them. I said, no, you give it to them. Give the Germans to them. They're going to take them around the corner and shoot them for crying out loud. The guys surrendered. He says, I can't afford to let nobody go. So he gave them to the FFE. They took them around the corner and shot them. Then we pulled back into Mexico. And first time we went in there, the French were yelling, La Boche, La Boche. What's a La Boche? Then we found out it meant the Germans. And when I went back to see if I could find my field jacket, because when we left, I left with nothing, just my rifle. And I wanted to see if I could find my field jacket. And all of a sudden the French are yelling, La Boche, La Boche. We ducked for cover. We knew what it meant then. And it wasn't the Germans, it was these here women that were collaborating with the Germans. They had them with without any clothes on, and they had swastikas painted all over their bodies.
Who are they?
Huh?
Who are they? What do they want?
They were French women. They were collaborating with the Germans, and the French didn't like that. So they stoned them to death.
Hmm.
One French FFE, he's booed at me, and so I laughed at him. I stand and watch him go by, and I turn around, I punch him right in the mouth. Don't you kick me, you bastard. Then he was gonna get up, and I pointed my rifle at him. I says, go ahead, get up. You're gonna go down real quick. I never want to see anybody go through a war. That's miseries. We were in Longueuil, France, and it starts snowing. I said, oh boy, that's all we need, snow. First in our first part of France, we're going through mud. And then all of a sudden snow. And oh boy.
How long were you in France then?
I was in there for Christmas of 1944, I remember that. Then the Battle of Bulge was taking place, so they moved us up into Belgium. Because the Germans knew the one division, they were spread out too thin. And that's where they came through up in Belgium. And they came through that forest, which we never expected them to come through, but they came through. They had a new type of a tank. It was way better than our tanks. A lot of guys figure you get in a tank outfit, you're safe. I seen shells go right through the tanks. And guys in that tank, they didn't stand a chance. But in Maxwell, France, they were shooting, and we call it artillery gun. It's really an anti-aircraft gun, and they were using that for an artillery gun. And they could put that damn thing on a dime. They must have seen me in that courtyard in Maxwell. I was digging a foxhole, and when I went back the next day to try to find my field jacket, that there foxhole was a lot bigger and deeper than I was digging it. They put a shell right in that damn thing. If I was there, they would have picked me up with a blotter.
Did you ever get your jacket?
No, it was gone. I don't know if the shrapnel ripped it up or the French went and took it. I had a battle to get a new jacket. Just like when I went into Omaha Beach, our clothing was impregnated. And when I landed, the front of the landing craft wouldn't go down. So I'm waiting for the guys in the front to jump off, and they're taking their sweet old time. So I jumped off the side and I went right in the water. I almost drowned. All this seen was my rifle sticking out of the water. And this here guy grabbed me and pulled me in. But that impregnated clothing, it stunk after being in the water. Boy, nobody would come near me because it stunk so damn bad. So I went back to the beachhead and I got new clothing, new pants, new shirt, without the impregnating junk on it. And everybody says, "Hey Steve, where'd you get the clothes without the impregnation on it?" I said, "Back at the beachhead. They got all kinds of clothes up there. Go ask them for it."
What do you mean by the clothes being impregnated? What does that mean?
In case they gas us. You can't go through that, the impregnation. It's a chemical they put on it. For crying out loud, we had a gas mask. I used that gas mask for a pillow. Germans wouldn't dare to use the gas because if they used the gas, we were all set. We were really gassed them. Like they got up where they had the gas stored, so they told them, "Don't shoot over there because there's gas in the air." So they went around it. Like now, they say there was no concentration camps. That's a lot of baloney. There were concentration camps and they were slaughtering. And like the Jews are yelling that they were the only ones being exterminated. They were not the only ones.
Who else was?
There was Catholics, there was Protestants, there was Germans. Like after the war, we're in, what the heck was the name of the town? Nickerzimmon. And it's your father, he had 3 daughters and 1 son. And they told him to go in the army to fight the Americans. He said, "The Americans never did nothing to me. I'm not going to go fight them." So they told him, either you go in to the army or your whole family goes to the concentration camp. So he didn't have no choice. He had to go in the army, and first day at the front, he got wounded in the legs. So they let him go home again. But that village, Nickerzimmon, they were Nazis. They stuck up for the Hitler. There was only 3 families in the whole village that didn't stick up for the Nazis.
Why were they sticking up for him?
They thought Hitler was great.
So when did you go to that village?
Huh?
When were you there in Nickerzimmon?
Nickerzimmon? After the war. Because during the war I was further north. And I was in the 1st Army then. And they, after the war, they transferred us down to the 7th Army. And we went through Heidelberg, over along the Neckar River. And the river was the Neckar River, and we were in Nickerzimmon.
I went to Heidelberg.
Heidelberg?
Yeah.
I went through it. I know there's a river. That's all I know about it, because we had to go across on a pontoon bridge. I said, "Oh boy, if this here sinks, we're sunk." They said that's a nice city, Heidelberg.
Yeah, I stayed there for 1 day. It was nice. I remember the river.
I went through it, not even 1 hour I went through it. Because I was on the truck. We went across the stupid river and went down to Nickerels, Nickerzimmon, everything. The town alone out there, the river is called Nicker something. Except one town across the river, they call it Holkhausen. But further up the river, down the river, or up the river, whatever way it was, there was a town, Heidelberg. The American planes went over in the daytime, and they dropped incendiary bombs on it so the town would burn, and the Germans thought that was all. They dropped an incendiary bomb so they know where it was at night, because it started burning. And that night, and their planes came over, and boy, they bombed out their town. You could stand on a pile and look right across. There was nothing standing. And a lot of German civilians were killed. But they thought incendiary bombs, that was it. But they just dropped them their incendiary bombs so they could spot it that night. Like the American bombers, they used to go in one way and come out another way. Toward the end of the war, they go in one way and come out the same way. We used to count them going in, and then we used to count them coming back. A lot of them had part of their wings shot off. A lot of them had their motors, one motor shot out. I said, oh boy, they're not going to make it back.
So when you went through, were you on foot through all this, going through France and Germany?
Huh?
Were you walking through France and Germany, or?
No, most of the times we were on trucks riding. Walk all that distance? I'd still be walking over there yet. We're on these here trucks, they call them 2.5-ton trucks. We went on them. But sometimes I go on a weapons carrier. It's a smaller truck.
So where were you when you found out the war was over?
Huh?
Where were you when you found out the war was over?
Marburg, Germany. That day, I was more scared that day than I was during the whole war. Because damn GIs, they're shooting bullets to celebrate. And we were in this here building, and when we heard the rifles being shot, we dropped to the floor. This here idiot on the floor above us, he went to the window to see what the heck was happening. He got killed by our own guy shot him. That was plain stupidity. They're shooting a machine guns. I said, oh boy. Like after the war, I went hunting for deer. Boy, did I run out of them woods fast. Them guys that were in there with grease guns, machine guns. Good night, I'm getting the heck out of here. I'm going to get killed for crying out loud.
When you celebrated Christmas over there, did you do anything special when you were there for Christmas?
I was in Vermont, France, Christmas. And that's when the Germans counterattacked with up in the Battle of the Bulge. Long way, France. These here two guys, they were going to be transferred to the artillery. They said, oh boy, we're safe. I told them, what the hell do you mean you're safe? You're not going to get us way back with artillery guns. I said, what happened to the guys that you're going to replace? It wasn't funny no more. They were, oh boy, we're about to get killed there too. Like this here young guy, he's probably older than I was for crying. I was only 19, he's probably in his 20s. And what the heck was the name of that town? We were in there and the German plane came over. Bed check Charlie, we called him. But this time he brought some friends with him. And he started bombing. And this here guy, he just came over. We all ran for the cellar. He went out to see the German planes and they came over strafing. One hit the road and glanced off his head. So he had to go back to the hospital. He come back up. He says, hey Steve, I got the Purple Heart. I said, you're stupid enough to take it on account of your stupidity. Instead of coming down the cellar with us, you're running out to see the damn German planes. I said, you're crazy. And I'm so convinced that he was going to turn the Purple Heart back in. I said, don't be silly. You deserve it for crying. You're wounded in the head. Like there's one cook. He's laying in our ground. He was drunk, and he started yelling, "The Germans are coming! The Germans are coming!" He shot himself right through the foot. Oh God! One sergeant. He's cleaning out his, I think he had a carbine. He's cleaning out his gun. And he puts his finger on the trigger. He squeezes it and he shot himself right in the chest. Enough the Germans to kill him. He killed himself. You see a lot of weird things in a war. Like in Sans, France, these here displaced person. They used to come up to our garbage cans. Well, we didn't want, we'd throw it in the garbage can. They go through that garbage can, picking it out. And this here displaced person, she's Polish. And she's telling me in Polish that her husband's going to yell at her because she didn't get there in time to get the used coffee grounds. And it's just, wait a minute. So I went to the kitchen and I asked cook for some coffee grounds. They were fresh ones. And I gave it to her. I said, here, take it. Your husband can't yell at you no more.
You understood the Polish?
Huh?
You understood her speaking Polish?
Yeah, I can understand Polish. It's almost like Slovak. I can understand Slovak. When I went to school, I didn't know no English at all. My mother and father always spoke Slovak to us.
How long before you learned English then?
Oh, I used to play with the kids and I learned it. After I went to school, I learned English. Like, I could understand Slovak. I can't speak it that good, but I could understand it. My mother used to speak to me in Slovak and I used to answer her in English. was a sergeant.
Oh,
In England, I was a corporal. Then I went to France. I became a sergeant. And me and this here new company commander, we didn't get along. I was supposed to be a staff sergeant, but he wouldn't give me the rank. I got into an argument with him up in Belgium. He was going to bust me from corporal. I said, good. He was no damn good. The guys were going to shoot him in this here woods in France.
his own guys were gonna shoot him?
Own guys, yeah. We're in the woods. In the middle of the woods, there's a field. And he called everybody into a meeting, but for some reason I didn't go. And all of a sudden I looked on one side of the woods. There he is walking down the middle of the field and rifles pointed at him. I said, oh boy, all it takes is one shot and the rest of them are going to pepper away at him. We used to call him Shaky the Hat. In near the Rhine River, I went back to Brussels, Belgium on a 3-day pass. I was going for 2 weeks. And the guys went in this here cellar and they found all kinds of liquor. That's the second time they were going to shoot him because they're all drunk. He got so excited and nervous they sent him back to the hospital and they called it battle fatigue. Battle fatigue, my foot. He's afraid the guys were going to shoot him. The battalion major, he took over the company. And this here one guy's telling me, he says, the major told him to take this here guy back to the stockade because he talked back to him. And we says I was in a truck and we hit a bump and my finger was on the trigger and I shot. The gun went off. He says to the truck driver, take us back, I'm not taking him to the stockade. And when I got back on the Rhine River, the guys were telling me about it. I said, you're full going. And they're pulling out all kinds of bottles of whiskey, schnapps, and cognac. I said, yeah, it must be true. They even gave me a bottle of wine. And they were telling me that the company commander had, they sent him back to the hospital. Battle fatigue, my foot, they're gonna kill him.
Why was he so bad? Why did everybody do this?
Hey, it was just mean.
We had been in North and South.
He thought it's a big shot because he became a captain. He was a first lieutenant, then he became a captain, and that went to his head. Like we had a lieutenant in England. Oh, he was GI. He went by the books, but we respected him. But this here company commander, we never respected him. We pulled in the town of Maxville, the battalion colonel says, oh, you're all set here. We were all set. The damn Germans were up on a hill with the 88s pointing right at us. And he took off. He said, I have to go back to check on son. Sure, he ran. We had to stay there.
And you said you had M1 rifles?
And ones, yeah. And I had 45 automatic. I used to keep that in my pocket. We were in Viviers, Belgium, and they sent me to get something from this here other company, and it's dark. And I'm walking back, and I see these here two guys on the sidewalk talking to this woman. So I walked in the street. I put my hand in my pocket for the 45 because I didn't have my rifle with me. And they start chasing me. I said, oh boy. Then on the street, I was supposed to turn down. I missed it. I had to turn around and run toward them. Start running down this here street, and these here guys, the guards were yelling, what are you running for? I said, these here two guys are chasing me. Shoot them! And then I got back to the company area, and they were kidding me about it, you know. This here other guy had to go to their company. He said, hey, Steve, come with me. I says, like hell, you're laughing at me. You see what's going to happen to you. I said, goodbye. So he says, come on, Steve, come on. So I said, I'm not going on. I'm taking the 45 with me. And he got some kind of a pistol. We put them in our pockets for walking. I says, here's where the two guys were talking to the woman, the ones that were chasing me. We look up there, so the window's dark, but we could see that curtain moving. I said, oh boy, I'm going out in the middle of the street. I still have my 45 in my pocket, and he had his pistol out. He's pointing at that window. I'm sitting there laughing at him. I says, you don't know who the heck it is, for crying out loud.
You ready to get going?
Oh yeah, and then how did you like go home? They just sent you on a plane to go home when it was all over?
When it was over,
Uh-huh.
you had to have so many points
Go home?
to go home. Yeah. For every month I was over in Europe, I got 2 points. Then for every battle star I had, I got 5 points for each one. So I ended up with 60 points. And they put us on this here cattle car from Marburg, Germany, and we went all the way up into Antwerp, Belgium. Boy, was it cold up there. Wow, it's never so cold in my life. And the boat we were supposed to get on, they pulled it out, and so we had to wait and get on another boat, the Josiah Bartlett. We're coming back across the ocean, and we hit the worst storm in 40 years. The boat went up and it came down, and it stripped the whole doggone boat. The lights went out. All the guys were running up on the deck. I told them, what the heck are you running up there for? there's no life rafts, they're all washed overboard for crying out loud. So what the heck's the sense of running up there? I said, if it goes down, I'm going with it down to the bottom of the ocean. Then the lights came on, and they come down the stairs, and they were all red-faced as I was laying on the cot. We pulled into the Azores, Fayetteville Island, for repairs. Something was wrong with the propeller. They couldn't repair it in Fayetteville Island, so we went to, yeah, that's where I spent another Christmas. We went to San Miguel, and that's where I spent Christmas of 45, yeah, San Miguel, on a damn boat in a harbor.
What country is that?
It's the islands, they belong to Portugal. That damn captain of that boat, whatever he is, he was taking us across the northern route. He wanted us to get home for Christmas, and we went the northern route, all right. We hit the worst storm in 40 years. Instead of getting home for Christmas, we got home after Christmas. Then he decided to take the southern route.
So you sailed back to America on the boat?
Huh?
You sailed back to America on the boat? You went from after that island back to America?
Yeah, back in the United States, yeah. We heard a song of the Lone Ranger, and everybody's cheering. This American station was playing that song, some radio station. We came across someplace near the southern part of Florida, then we went up along the coast. When I seen that Statue of Liberty, tears were in my eyes, because when I was going over to Europe, I was looking at the Statue of Liberty. I said, I'll never see it again. The tears were in my eyes when I came back and I seen it again. It took us 40 days to cross the stupid ocean.
Oh, that's a long time.
Because we hit that worst storm in 40 years. They got a bed sheet and they put down home by Christmas, and they X'd that out. And they put down home by New Year's, they X'd it out. And they put down home by the grace of God. They have hung it on the side of the ship. The reporters must have spotted, and they came on and they started talking to the guys. Going over to Scotland, it only took us 7 days to cross the ocean.
You mean going there?
Huh?
You mean when you originally were going there, it took you 7 days?
Yeah, over to Europe, 7 days. I was on the Queen Mary. That's a big boat. And the Queen Elizabeth was in the harbor in New York. I seen them there gun turrets. They're all bent up. That's how powerful that water is. I was on the Queen Mary, and we had to stop in the middle of a submarine nest because they had to operate on this guy. One guy says, well, what are you going to do for torpedoes, Steve? You're going to go down that cargo net? I says, like hell, that thing is all rotted away. I says, I'm going to jump. I said, what the good is it to jump? We're going to drown anyway. That's what I don't like about Ireland. They let the German boats go in there into their ports, but they wouldn't let us go in there because they hate the English. Just like Switzerland. Them idiots, they were getting our cigarettes. We ran out of cigarettes over there, and I was in this little village, and a truckload of nurses came out buying, put out my hand. This is candy. I said, no, cigarette! They had some, they gave me a couple.
When did you start smoking? During the war?
I smoked a little bit before the war, but you go to the war, if you never smoked in your life, you'll start smoking, I'll guarantee you. Trying to calm your nerves down. In England, they used to give us 6 packs of the brand we wanted. But the 7th pack used to be Chelsea cigarettes, and I couldn't have smoked them. If I had to smoke them, I'd never smoke again in my life. I had to try to trade them off. Nobody would take them because they all knew how lousy they were. During the war, we got the cigarettes for nothing. Even the little kids were begging for cigarettes for Papa. They're going to smoke them themselves. And we used to have these here little candies made by Hershey's. We used to throw that to them. The doggone things turned white, but they were still good. You put something in it, it turned white, but it was still good. During the war, we had K rations and C rations. The C rations was beans. We all used to fight for the beans because this here hash was lousy.
What was K rations?
It's a box. Each box was for each meal, breakfast, lunch, and supper. And the breakfast box, you could have a little can that had eggs and meat, some kind of meat was in there. and there was 2 packages of these crackers, K1 and K2. The K2, I used to just throw them away. I couldn't stomach them things. K2s, I eat part of it. And there was a little package of 3 cigarettes. Yeah, for breakfast, if you were lucky, you got the breakfast. That way you didn't get lemonade. Who the hell wants lemonade for breakfast? In Belgium, they got this here box. 10 people are supposed to eat out of it. So everybody's grabbing. I didn't get nothing. So there's a can in there and they threw it away. So I picked up the can, I looked at it. I opened it up, it was turkey! So this here guy from the South Dakota comes to me, what are you eating, Steve? I said, turkey! He said, you're kidding. No! He says, I threw that can away. I said, it's too damn bad. It's mine now. So I had to share it with him. You never got no hot meals during the war. So we used to C rations or K rations. Then after the war, there was a box in the kitchen and I went in there, C rations. There was chicken in there and all kinds of good things. So I said, where the hell were these things during the war, for crying out loud? They came out with a better brand of C ration. It was good. Even the C ration crackers, I couldn't eat them damn things. We used to call them dog biscuits. Your father, when Desert Storm broke out, he says, we'll go, Steve. I thought to myself, like hell, I don't want to go through that stupidity again. I thought to myself, you want to go, you'll go, I'm not going. Yeah, he's getting wise again, Saddam Hussein, huh? He's shooting at the American planes.
Again?
Yeah. He shot at a U-2 plane. He got a better missile now. We thought he couldn't get a missile up that high, but he got an improved missile and more fuel, and it just went by a U-2 plane. As it went by, it exploded in the back of the plane, and that pilot felt a concussion. Then an AWACS plane, they were flying over Kuwait, and the Iraqis fired a missile.
Yes.
Bouncy, bouncy.
No tape. I took the tape out. Oh, there's 2 minutes left.
We don't start it yet, though. Hold her close.
Say hi.
One more time.
Here's Lucy.
Ready to jump?
Alright, let it be.
No,
Yeah.
she'll be fine. She can't get in.
Wait, Christine, no, go back there. Ready? Mom.